Yeah. He can sing alone.
Did you watch Studio VIP? The stripper part? That's what I want to do. I don't think it had the same effect.
Yeah, I'll take one more question and then I'll hand it over to Andy. So the question was, how long does the same cast stay together? It's a great question. A lot of people believe that we travel from ship to ship as a cast. We don't, unfortunately. It'd be great because you become such a family on board. But we're only together for about 6 to 9 months. And then we'll look for other contracts depending on what ship you want to go to, what shows you want to do, how long a vacation you want. And then you'll go to the Carnival studios in Miami, and then you'll meet an entirely new cast, learn entirely new shows, and become a close family with them. But it is a shame that you don't stay together for longer periods of time because you do really get to know each other, and it's sad saying goodbye at the end of the contract. I know that cruise from November 5th to November 10th is going to be many tears. But it's great, like getting to know them for the entire, but it's about 6 to 9 months. But I'm going to hand it over to the very dry Andy and very well shaven. Give it up for Andy, everybody.
Thank you, Matt. Matt helped me because I was running late, so thank you, Matt. Give it up for Matt, everybody. He's a beautiful human being. Yeah, I sit on my lovely stool over here. Oh yeah. Hi everyone. For those of you who didn't come to Group St. Jude, the reason I look like this is because I let guests shave me. And let me show you this. Yes. Ow. I didn't realise I had freckles. Yeah, well that's me. Sorry to flash you all. What's that? Take them off. Take it off. Oh god, it's Rocky. Oh my goodness gracious. Now then, just like Matt said, if you got any questions, what's that? 2,500. But with the start of the cruise, that was another 4,000, so about 6,000 there. And then we did all the frogs that people bought. I think we raised about another 3,000 there, so about 9,000 something or other. Yeah, so yeah, pretty darn good. Happy with that. Oh goodness gracious. Well, anyway, we did this because a lot of guests would come up to me yesterday and said that the Q&A wasn't long enough, so I put another one on for you. So, any question you'd like to ask? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do you do the COVID test or what? No. I mean, when you get off the ship, I mean, I don't know what communication you've had yet, but I think you have to get tested before you come on. But getting off, there's no COVID test. Getting back on, like I said, you probably will have to get tested. Yeah. Imagine you just start a new cruise. It's not. I know it's back to back, but it's not technically back to back because you've got the day. I have no idea. I don't get the communication that you get, so I don't get the email that you've been given. So you have to check your email when you get off. I imagine they'll do it in the port when they did in Seattle. For those people who didn't get it or whatever, but yeah, they'll probably do it in the port for you. Yes, ma'am. Oh, there you go. That would have been nice to know. I wish someone had told me that. There you go. Sorry, that lady said that there's a letter in your room. Carnival's going to give you a test to take tomorrow. Alright, so you can take it. Alright. This isn't one of those tests that you have to take in order to get off or anything like that. It's just for those people who are back to back. Alright? So there you go. So hopefully there'll be a letter in your room waiting for you so you can explain it. Yes, sir. Oh, mate, I'm here till December. This is the thing that's confusing about this ship. Opa! Everyone thought that Savannah was the cruise director, because that's what got put all over Facebook. She's not the cruise director till April. So everyone's going to be very disappointed when they come on a ship and see me and like, you're right, you're not half as good looking as Savannah, Andy. But yeah, I'm here I say she's here till April. I leave in December, she's here for 1 month, then I come back, and then she takes over fully in April, and I go to the Freedom. But yeah, she doesn't really take over. She takes over a month, that's it. So it's not even that here that long. So everyone's gonna be disappointed, bless them. Yes, sir. One till 2 o'clock today. Why has nobody told me these things? So, if those people getting COVID tests, go to short excursion desk from 1 to 2 o'clock today. Alright, so go to the short excursion desk and get your COVID test. You can see the line outside right now. Alright, so go and get that and get that sorted if you want to. Alright, thank you, mate. Those people are doing a back-to-back cruise. Those people are doing a back-to-back. Alright, back to kind of back, but yeah. So you're going to do is go to the short excursion desk and you get sorted. So that's for you as well, my love, alright? Any other questions? Yes, Matt? So get yourself up at around 5 a.m. Get yourself upstairs. We're going to be coming into the harbour around 5:15, that kind of time. And then, we'll then went around. And then, depending on what time it is, there'll be helicopters coming around about 5:30. We'll probably slow the ship down in order to make sure that happens at the time it says. So, yeah. Alright? Beautiful. But yeah, make sure you're up tomorrow. If you didn't hear me say it already, tomorrow be up early. If you want to be part of something special, alright? Because tomorrow we're coming into Sydney, the first time in 3 years. And there's going to be lots of press, lots of things going on. There's going to be helicopters and stuff. And hopefully it's not raining, because apparently it's raining right now. So hopefully it's not raining, because otherwise that would be miserable. Probably will, because it's Sydney. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully not. Let's pray for good weather. Alright. Big Melbourne. You're biased. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Do I eat the same food as the guests? Yes. So whenever you're on Lido deck and you're eating your food and you leave your plates on the table, so you're scraped into a trough, and that's what we eat downstairs. I'm lucky enough, certain crew members have something called guest area privileges, which means I can go into guest areas. The entertainment team can go into guest areas, so we can eat on Lido deck. You know, entertainment isn't the only one; there's other people as well. So we can eat on Lido deck if you want to in a certain specific area. Obviously, guests get priority. Like if there's a massive long line and you see a crew member inside, it's not the best representation of us because you paid to be here. We are paid to be here, so it's not really fair if we're in a line and butting in front of you. So we can eat on Lido deck, and I do when I get a chance. I'm a senior officer, so I get room service as well, which is basically what I live off because I never have time to eat. So as soon as I get back to my room, when I'm not with guests, I go back to my room and I'm on my computer doing emails and sorting things out for the next day or whatever, or sorting out issues and different things. So I always have to call room service and they come into my room. They know me, but as soon as I call, they go, "Hi Andy." I'm like, "Okay, it's me again." And I remember one time I ordered room service and I said, "Can I just have I need to eat something healthy. Do you have like any salad, anything like, I just want a chicken breast and some broccoli, something healthy." He said, "Oh, we don't do anything like that." I said, "Okay, cool. I'll have fries and a burger then." And then this woman got sassy and she's like, "I thought you wanted something healthy." I said, "Well, if there's nothing healthy, I might as well enjoy my meal, might as well." I just saw it. Yes, ma'am. Oh, okay, cool. You put the hand up without the question, I like it. The order is completely right. Fair enough. No, I do my comedy show on every trip. Every trip, yeah. I do, maybe not in the 4 days, because it's we jam a lot into a 4 day, but the 10 days definitely, the 7 days and stuff like that. And 4 day cruises are usually booze cruises, so no one cares who I am. They don't care who the cruise director is, they're just here for alcohol and music, which, has its perks as well, I did that comedy show. The first time I ever did that comedy show was on the Mardi Gras because Chris the Flying Scotsman told me to do it. Because if those of you know who Chris the Flying Scotsman is, he has his own show. He sings. He's incredible talent. And he said like, oh, you should do it. Because I used to do my comedy bit. I used to be the comedy club manager. So I used to do my set before the comedian came on. I used to warm up the crowd and tell a few, like 5 minutes each time. Because in England and on land in general, the MC is always a comedian. You know, they get the crowd going, work the crowd, get them laughing. So that way, when the comedian comes up, they're not coming up cold. You know. So that's what I thought the comedy host would do. So that's why I did it. And then he told me to do a show, so I did it. And then when I was becoming cruise director, I was like, I don't know whether I should do this. Because it's an adult show. Cruise directors are seen a certain way, you know, family friendly. And I like to think that my show isn't too vulgar. It's not that bad, you know, I don't swear too much. I don't like to swear too much. I don't think, yeah, and if they're offended, there's always one person that stays in. The thing is, no matter how many times you say to people, if they're easily offended, leave, there's always one person, and I'm sure they get off on it. It's like, oh yeah, I'm offended. Can't wait to write a letter. That's the kind of thing. My favourite people are the ones that say they're going to write a letter to Christine Duffy. Like Christine Duffy's at a desk like, oh my god, Roger from Minnesota said this. She does not get those letters. Yes, sir. Yeah, she's coming tomorrow. Christine Duffy. Mama Bear. Yeah, she's coming on board. Yeah, she's not going to stay in Sydney and be like, she's coming on the ship. Oh, it's good to see my ship. Let's get drunk. All right. No, yeah, she's coming on. All the press people are coming on. Loads of, you know, the Today Show are coming on from Australia. A bunch of social media people that I've never heard of are coming on to TikTok and Instagram. And I got told I have to do a TikTok dance yesterday. I said I'd rather die. I have not even tried learning it. I'm not doing it. It was like the media team was like, oh, can you and your team learn how to do this TikTok? And I was like, no, I don't do TikToks. Oh God, I am not 5 years old. I do not do TikTok. I probably will end up doing it though, let's be honest. Yes, Miss Robin. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they don't technically come tomorrow. They come on the 1st. So the 30th tomorrow tomorrow's a big day for us because tomorrow we have an audit coming on. Because technically classed as a return to service. And with COVID happening throughout all the ships and stuff like that, when we started up each ship, we had to do something called a return to service, where an auditor would come on and they would ask us what COVID protocols we'd have in place. So for instance, these auditors would come around the ship with us and they'd come to the theatre and they'd be like, okay, what are you doing to protect our guests from COVID? I said, okay, cool. So the way we protect guests from COVID in the theatre is we make sure these seats are closed over the front over here, because that way when they're on stage, you're at least 6 feet away from us. And if the performers are singing, they can't spit at you unless they're, you know, really aiming for you, you know. So we say like that, you know, in the atrium, what are you doing there? Oh, we put stanchions to make sure that no one comes too close, things like that. It's a very boring day. It's depressingly boring, and I've done it already on this ship. Because we came from Seattle, and we started up there, and now we're starting it again in Australia, so we have to do it again. But it shouldn't be too long, but that's tomorrow. We also have to do a full drill, because the Coast Guard are going to assess us and test us, so that's always fun. And then I get to go out eventually, hopefully, and I get to go see Moulin Rouge. Hopefully. That's the plan. If not, drinks. It's usually the plan for anything in life. If not, drinks. Yes, sir. Weirdest thing I've seen on a ship. The guy fishing, that's pretty weird. There's a guy fishing off the ship on this cruise. True story. But I'm not sure how true it is. Well, I know how true it is because a guest showed me a picture and it was a fishing rod, right? But so we sent security to the room and apparently it's not fishing rods, they're radio antennas. Also weird. But yes, genuinely, I don't know if she's in the room. You in the room? She knows who she is. That's it, yeah, she's got the rope over. But if it was a fishing rod, they're on deck 9. All they're going to do is catch somebody on deck 3 smoking. I don't know what they expected to catch, but yeah, that was pretty weird. What else is weird that happened? What else? There's so many weird things that happen. Oh, this is the weirdest thing. This is quite disgusting. Are you okay with this? I made out with a fish, so that was pretty weird. There was a lady in my very first contract, and I was doing Quest, and she came into the room, and went into the middle of the floor, and evacuated her bowels in front of everybody, and then walked away. I don't think she was drunk, I thought she was just mental, if I'm honest. But yeah, that was a weird one. That was pretty strange. Hi Eli. Hey mate. Come on over. 2 cruise directors in France, so what? Get yourself a stool, mate, they're over there to the left. You got your hands shut. No, God, no, you stop sitting on the floor. You're not in New Zealand anymore.
I'm happy to sit on the floor, that's what we do in my
We're
village.
in a civilised place.
Hi. Hi, Lily. Every time.
For those of you who don't know who Eli is, he is my consultant slash.
Is that what we're calling me now?
I don't know how to think about
Sounds
it.
great. Let's stick with consultant.
He is a cruise director that did Australia for a very, very long time, and he is training me about Australia, about the people. You know, because you're an enigma, and I'm gonna crack you. That sounds bad. Cracking.
She's the really cracked.
Yeah. Madam at the back. Sorry. Yes, you better hand number 1. The currency.
So for those who are spending some time in Australia, can you please explain the currency? Not the Great British Pound, because that's in the toilet.
Yeah, that's gone. Great time to transfer money though from dollars. So, Australian dollars. I mean, I don't really know how to describe it, but it's American dollars is like 66 Australian.
If you're American, how many Americans in here? Yeah. You've been getting wealthier during this cruise, did you know that? So when you get to Australia, you're going to have a lot more money than when you started this cruise.
So 66 Australian dollars, 66 Australian cents is like $1
No,
American.
other way around.
Okay, I'm confused.
So 60 cents US is
Yeah.
$1 Australian dollar.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah. Next question, yes,
And
ma'am.
you can use it's cash. You can use cash. You can use credit cards. So when we pull into Circular Quay, we're right downtown. Right?
Yeah.
So we're
Go do
like,
some shopping.
yeah, right.
But I would recommend. I don't know if your credit card company's like mine, but I have to let my card company know that I'm in that country. Otherwise, when I use my card, they're like, "Hey, what's going on here?" and they block it. Alright. So just that's something to bear in mind, my dear.
Mine doesn't.
Yeah, yeah.
Mine just gives it away to other people. I think they just use it.
Yeah.
Anyone can use it.
Yeah.
Anyone's. Yay.
It's a lovely world, isn't it? Lady at the back. Okay.
No, you only get one between you, so you
we'll
fight over it, sort it out.
mix the 2 questions. I can see, yeah. Go on, both of you. Ask. Go on, love it.
You brought up COVID. Do you tell us the statistics of how many people, what percentage got it? No, we heard.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. I want to know.
No.
Oh.
No, do you know what the funny thing is? I asked last night, because a lot of guests were asking me whether we get tested before we get off the ship. So So I was like, so why are we not? Because it seems to make sense to me to get tested before you get off the ship, but hey ho, I'm cool, whatever. So I said, just out of interest, how many cases do we have? It's confidential. Mainly because they know I'm a blabbermouth, and if you were to ask me, I would have told you. So I'm not allowed to know.
And
So
you would
I
have
don't.
exaggerated it.
Yeah. I know for instance, I think at one point we had, we never got bad, basically. If we were bad, you wouldn't be wearing masks on right now. We wouldn't have taken that back after Hawaii, so we never got bad. If we had 3% of guests with COVID, for guests and crew, so that would have been 90 people going into Australia, we would have been isolated. So that's not happening. So
And that's the same rules with, gastrointestinal issues and all that sort of stuff.
yeah. So I can tell you it's definitely less than 90. Okay? Yes, ma'am. Yes, you. Yes, you that started talking.
Okay, yeah. Don't worry, I'm staying in Sydney for a couple of days, and then I'm going back to the States. Do I need to have a COVID test before I go on a plane?
That's a good question. If you're staying in Sydney for a couple of days and then you're going back to the States, will you have to have a COVID test before you get on the plane? Not anymore, I don't think. And also you don't have to wear a mask on public transport. Yeah.
No masks. What a delight. What a world you all live in. And I'm still back in 2020.
But we only have one mask between us, so I was
Yeah.
wearing it now and I'll give it back to you in a moment.
I don't brush my teeth, so the order.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Alright.
When will Quest come back? Not soon enough, my dear.
Your Quest fiend, eh?
Yeah, I love Quest. I think it's starting to come back in the States now. So in Australia, obviously, we'll get it back up and running as soon as we can as well. So yeah, it's coming back. It is coming back. I'm so happy. Quest, for those of you who don't know, is an adult scavenger hunt.
You memorised the questions and answers. The question was, how often do the trivia games and things get rotated?
But the thing is with trivia is we can't renew every single one of them. You guys cruise too much, basically. That's the issue.
But a lot of the trivias in Australia will be different than the
Oh yeah, the Australian ones will be different, yeah. But we can't keep redoing the Office trivia because the Office is finished. And there's only so many questions you can ask about the Office, General knowledge we can keep redoing and stuff like that, but then you just have general knowledge all the time. The issue is, some of you guys just go on so many cruises and you memorize them, alright? And that's the thing, that's the difficult thing. And that's why people get accused of cheating. It's not cheating, just good memory.
I had a couple on a ship I was on, and they cruised once a month. So they cruised the Cape Coast once a month. They had a binder, like a folder. Have you seen this?
I've seen a few people do
They
that.
bought the binder to trivia, and they would open it up, and they would go through anything they got wrong, they'd fill it in, and they would just win every game. In front of everyone, they'd just be reading the binder, filling out all the answers. Apparently that's fun for them.
That's miserable. They're the worst kind
And
of
they
people.
go, Eli, these people keep abusing us for cheating like this. And we go, well, I would too, but I'm not allowed.
Yeah, in my eyes, this might upset a few people, but tomorrow's a new day. When it comes to trivias, if you've done it and you memorise all the answers, then play it by all means. But if you win, just shut up. Let somebody else win. You know what I mean? Does that? You don't need.
No, you've done all that work to win it. You shove it in their faces.
Yeah. By all means, do one of the trivias and get it, just so you can get the trophy. But then, if you keep, don't let everyone else win a trophy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're selling the ships on eBay. Hey, I saw that one of the Carnival Ecstasy ships is going for $200 right now on eBay.
Yeah, the Jubilee. I've seen one for Jubilee on Amazon. It's over $600.
Mental.
Has anyone crewed on the Jubilee? Yeah, a couple of you. Yeah, me
The
too.
old one, not the new one.
The old Jubilee.
The old one. The new one, yeah, the old one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
That was one of my first ships, the Jubilee. I've actually got a Jubilee cap in my cabin from 2001.
It's only 25.
It looks pretty ratty by now. It's done some work.
Gentleman at the back. Yes, you said you had a question. No, you good? This gentleman over here. Bringing wine on? Bringing back on the ship? No. Sodas, yes.
Well, we'll try and drink it.
So you want,
Bring wine on.
so you've got wine currently, and are you coming back on? The ship won't hold on to it for you. No.
It's similar to going through an airport when you get into the terminal. I've been getting a lot of questions the last couple of days about what people can take off, what it's going to be like. It's the same rules as if you landed in an aeroplane from Fiji and all the rest of it. It's the same rules.
I would offer to keep hold of it myself, but I'm in a public area right now, and if I say that, everyone is going to be like, hold on to my suitcase, hold on to this. I can't do that. My
It's
ribs.
already going to be holding on to mine.
Yeah, exactly.
I told you only get one question.
All right, this lady over here.
Yeah, I like it. She wants to know who's sleeping with who. Is what she wants to know. The question was, what's life like on deck zero? Not that Prince Andy would know. He's got a suite next to the captain.
Thank you
But
so much. I'm a butler.
who sleeps with who? What's the bunking situation? You floozy.
This is what happens. First day of the cruise, first day when you sign on, you get in the I-95, women line up on this side, men on this side.
No.
And then we go, women choose, Sophie's Choice, 2022, gentlemen. We just go, you. And then we just go.
This is how rumours get started.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not true.
You just kind of
The boys choose.
Yeah. Imagine. So yeah, you get it's kind of semi-random or semi-not. You get put with the same department. All of entertainment, for instance, is on deck 3, right behind this theatre, right over here. So if you want to go and stalk one, that's where they live.
Keep telling people this stuff.
Yeah, stalk. Go out that door, make a right, another door. All right.
Security's backstage freaking out right now.
That happened once. That happened.
Because you told them to?
No, but now it will. But I was on the Valor, and a guest was really enamoured by a playlist cast and found the cabin and knocked on. I had a few guest stalkers on my first ship, and and I was loving it because I was 23. These beautiful Texan ladies who just really liked my accent, nothing else. The faces are horrible.
62-year-old men, by the way.
Yes, yeah. They had a beard and something else, a very big Adam's apple. But they were running around the ship going, "Where's Andy?" And some crew member, probably like me, was like, "Oh yeah, he's at the crew bar. She's downstairs in the I-95." And they came into the crew bar. I wasn't there. I was in bed. And the next morning, the staff captain called me and said, "Why are these guests looking for you in guest areas, crew areas?" And I was like, I didn't even know who they were.
You should have given them this talk here about how you tell everyone where to go and how to get there.
Yeah, that's true.
Would have done well.
Staff captain is not my biggest fan. Yeah. And I tell people to get the life jackets and walk down deck 5 as well, so that's not the best.
It's not the best thing.
Yeah.
You can, if you like with someone, if you have a partner, someone you're pretty sweet on, someone you've been wooing for a while. Man, I'm old.
When we say wooing for a while on ship terms, that means a day.
Someone you're pretty keen on, then you can actually have your crew numbers linked in the system so that they'll try and get you on the same ship together and you have a partner cabin, so a cabin you can share. So you can do it that way. But yeah, of course, like Andy said, you've got people from the same department generally in the same cabin. Because you don't want someone who's working night shift to be with someone who's working day shift and constantly waking each other up and that sort of thing. So, but there's never more than 2 per cabin, unless you decide otherwise.
Unless you're into that.
What?
Oh, the below deck show. It's not quite as dramatic as that. It's not
No,
quite.
that's terrible. That below decks.
Yeah, trash TV. I can't stop watching it.
Never watch that.
Good stuff. And yes, sir. Discounts to get for our families. So for us as cruise directors, we have our own cabin. So we can't talk about the parties you used to have. But we have our own cabins. So that means that somebody can stay in our cabin, a family member, and it's $7 a day they would pay.
Well, it depends on the port.
And they'd have to pay, but they have to pay port fees.
Port fees.
None of my family have ever cruised with me, so if anyone wants to be my mum and dad,
We get to put 3 people on the list, right?
3 people on the list, so
Your cruise partner.
any takers?
3 people, so highest bidder.
There you go.
You would too, wouldn't you? You'd auction it off, wouldn't
Oh,
you?
I would definitely auction it off.
Alright, come and stay with me. You can take 3 people.
I'm from Manchester, mate. Anything that makes money, I'm all for it. $5 is
So
$5.
you've never had family? Oh, yeah, but
Well, my brother lives in Vancouver, right? And I was in Alaska for a long time, which is very close. And he was like, I'm gonna come on. Said it for 6 months, didn't come on once. Useless.
My brother's never cruised with me. My parents have cruised with me. Some of the people here have cruised with my parents.
Oh, really? I would hate my parents to cruise with me.
I love that. They were great. Who cruised with my parents? Anyone here? Yeah, there you go. My parents came on for. I said to my parents, look, I will pay for a cruise. They've never been on a cruise before. I'll pay for a cruise. You just have to get the tickets and meet us at the port. So I'm like, it'll be a 3-day cruise or a 4-day cruise, like to Morton Island. 19-day cruise is one day. Gotta clap for that. See, they know. They're very clever. That was very clever and very astute of your parents.
Well, my dad's a lovely human being, but he's the grumpiest man in the world. And he hates people.
Can't imagine why.
I know. So he would come here and he would hate it. My mum's like the chattiest person in the world. My dad's lovely. Like, he loves his family. He loves his family, that's it, you know. But anyone else, he's like, go away. So if he was here, I know he'd be sat there. I'd be doing a show and he'd be like that.
My parents
Like you said.
Yeah. Oh, I've probably spent more time with this gentleman than I have with my own family.
Yeah. Over the last year, I think genuinely 23 days, I've spent more time with you than I have my parents this year. Genuinely.
It's like that, isn't it? That's why when you say my Carnival, Splendor family.
Genuinely, yeah. How do I meet my mum? I came out with her.
Oh, Lily. You're 18 now.
I don't know how to explain how it works.
We need to talk.
How did my father meet my mum if he hates people?
That's a good question, actually.
My mum is not a person, she's a goat. No, I mean, he was a good person in his youth. The bitterness comes over time. So the hate grows.
After he was married.
Yeah, after he was married. After my mum beat him down into nothing. No, I'm joking. No, wait, they met in school. They've been together since they were 14.
Oh, that is so sweet. No, it's lovely. I'm just bitter.
Yes, sir.
Because of the Hurricane Ian?
Yeah, Hurricane Ian, yeah.
Been there. Yeah. Good question. So the question, what do you want me to repeat the question?
You'll repeat
The
it.
question was, there's been a couple of ships diverted in the Gulf of Mexico because of Hurricane Ian. So do we have a contingency for that on ships with supplies and fuel and that sort of thing?
Yeah, we do. We usually stock a ship with food and stuff enough for at least, well, in this case, ignore the Journeys cruise because that's an extreme case. But a normal cruise, like a 5 and 4 day, let's say for instance, we stock the cruise for at least 2 weeks worth of food.
Yes, we've got to have enough fuel. The rules are we've got to have enough fuel for at least 3 days at full speed extra. So if we're burning, I think the last ship I was on burned about 1.6 tonnes an hour at full speed per engine, 6 engines.
We have 3,000 tons of fuel on
Yeah,
board.
so it's a bit more than Spirit class.
Yeah.
So you've got to be able to take. So if we were burning maybe, 300 tonnes a day, we'd have to carry an extra 900 tonnes of fuel over what our planned trip was. Kind of like an airplane, right? When if you have any pilots in here, you got to have 12% more of your intended flight path on an airplane. So pretty similar.
Well, I've been on cruises during the hurricane, I'm sure you have as well. And my first ship was the Valor when Hurricane Harvey hit. And we had a 4-day cruise, it turned into a 14-day cruise. And what we were, because Galveston was underwater and a lot of homes got destroyed, it was horrible. And we had all Texans. So what we were doing was we were going to New Orleans and we said to guests, if you want to get off and you're able to get off, you can do, but we will take you home eventually when Galveston's open. But if you think you can make it home, it's your decision. If you want to get off the ship,
How
you're
many
able to.
left?
We had 500 left out of 3,000 by the end.
Yeah, we had 400, I think, 400 left on board. It was
ship
great. It was a massive party, man.
What ship is it?
That was on, oh my gosh, dude, I can't remember. I've been on 17 ships.
It's mental. But we were doing that, and you know, I was doing the comedy club.
Was it the Ecstasy? Sorry, I think it was on Ecstasy. I wasn't on Ecstasy. I just realised how that sounded.
There was no hurricane, it was just him driving the ship.
This is a great party! I was on the there's a ship called the Ecstasy. So yeah, but yeah, it was good fun. You know, we had like one big show a night, one dining seating. It was good.
Yeah, whenever you see a guest, you're like, can we help you? Please, but I'm so bored. So bored. Oh yeah, you know, but some of the people I met on that ship cruise with me now, you know, follow me around and come and cruise with me. And then I've got this. And I remember I wasn't allowed off the ship because I didn't have an I-95 because I was so new.
Yeah.
An I-95 is like a paper passport that crew members get given. We get our passports taken off us because we think we're going to do a run.
American ports, right?
For American ports, yeah.
It's very official. It's a photocopied piece of paper, black and white.
And if you lose it, $300 to replace.
Place it, yeah. It's literally photocopied.
And it gets disintegrated by the end of the contract. It's all stupid. But I didn't have that, so I wasn't allowed out in New Orleans ever. So I was doing a comedy club and these guests were like, do you need anything from New Orleans? And I said, honestly, I'm sick of the ship food. Can you just get me like some chicken? Like some fried chicken or something like that. Chicken, maybe chicken.
I just need some chicken.
Chicken, mate. And maybe a beignet, because I've never had one of those. The next day, I did a comedy. I had 20 boxes of chicken with some beignets. So I got on the stage that night. I said, thank you so much. Do you know what I'm really craving right now? Just some money, really. It'd be great. It didn't have the same effect. Didn't have the same effect. Yeah.
John Hill did that with cannolis.
Cannolis.
Remember Cruise with John Hill? He does that, and that's what he did that with his cannolis. Have you ever bought cannolis for John Hill? Because you have a million people in this world have bought John Hill some kind of cannolis.
Sweet Lord, who was his cannolis?
So in the morning he'd be like, I don't get off the ship today. I do love cannolis, but I don't get a chance to get off the ship. So if you're passing a cannoli place, can you grab me a cannoli? We have like 1,200 cannolis. Oh, I put on so much weight.
Yes, ma'am. And then I got you, ma'am.
Resupply? Yeah, good question. That's a good question. The question was, with a cruise this long in the ports of call, do we stop and resupply?
We resupply with different things, like obviously provisions and things like that. We load food, bottles of water,
vegetables and stuff.
yeah, and then water as well. You'll see like a big hose in the side of the boat, and that's pumping fresh water into the ship. We don't do the whole desalinization anymore. We're doing certain degrees, but not for the aspect of showers and drinking water. We don't do it.
If we need it, we can use it.
Yeah.
And we haven't been able to offload garbage yet either.
No.
So we weren't allowed to offload any of the rubbish,
Especially in Fiji.
or trash, as you call it, I think. Trash, or garbage, or rubbish in Fiji. So we're going to do that in Sydney.
Yeah.
So we're offloading it in Australia. All the trash gets off in Australia.
Don't talk about our guests that way. That's horrible.
Don't put words in my mouth. It's lovely.
Yes, my darling.
Rainbow Jersey.
When we did a cruise to Alaska, we did not have a naturalist on board, so we kind of didn't know anything that was going on. And on this cruise, we've had the naturalist, so we kind of know what to look for and know what's going on. And I wondered if Carnival was going to make it a practice to try and have a naturalist on this cruise.
Yeah, good question. Did anyone get that?
Help the guests.
So the lady was just saying that, about having naturalists on every ship because you didn't have one in Alaska. Did you cruise out? Did you cruise on this ship?
No, we went out of San Francisco earlier.
That's why.
In Carnival, we generally have a naturalist on board in Alaska. I see people nodding.
Yeah. So all season in Alaska, we had one on our ship. We had Emily, then we had Louise. She was great. And then you showed me horrible. Did anyone see Louise? You saw Louise?
We heard her.
Was that?
trying to find out if Louise was a man. I can answer that.
No, the only thing with Louise was she would do lectures that where the title was Glaciers, Volcanoes and Waterfalls, and then she'd talk about Saturn for an hour. And we'd be like, what are you doing? And then one day...
Are there glaciers on Saturn?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe I'm in the wrong. But one day, there was this day, and you may have gone to this place, Victoria, and the Alaska cruise, you might have gone to Victoria. And Victoria would go through a whale sanctuary. And this one day, I was in a meeting, and I looked out the window, and there was literally 40 whales all around. It was mental. This, all you could see was spouts everywhere. It was incredible. No announcement from the naturalists. And I look up to the bridge. She's not even looking out the window. She's got her binoculars and she's looking up at the roof. It's not a glass ceiling.
Was she extremely short?
Mate, honestly, I thought she brought some substances on that ship, honestly. Every time I saw her, she was a bit more like... So in the end, I just made an announcement saying, don't know what Louise is doing, but there's a bunch of whales. If you've got eyes, you'll see them. They're right there. But meanwhile, she's there on the bridge going, oh, this is a good job, isn't it?
Naturalist. You know in New Zealand a naturalist is a nudist?
But yeah, in England as well. So when they said they had a naturalist coming on board, I said, oh, I don't think the guests are going to like that.
Better keep her on the bridge.
Gonna wipe down the surfaces after she's there.
You know, my first whale announcement was on the stage of the Carnival Spirit when we were up in Alaska. We'd gone from Hawaii to Alaska, and I made the mistake of being on the stage, and the windows were open, the curtains were up, and I saw whales out there. And I was like, oh look, there's whales over there, and there's an iceberg. That was a mistake. And because we'd gone from Hawaii, and there was literally an iceberg going past the window. I'm like, oh look, there's an iceberg. I think I was like, oh, there's whales and an iceberg. Shouldn't say that on a ship. At the time, I didn't think anything about it. I was like, that's cool, look, there's an iceberg.
I got a complaint because I said, oh, we're going to Tracy Arm Fjord today, and we're going to be hitting the icebergs around this time. What I meant to say was like, we're going to get there, we're hitting them, like, we're getting it. Guest services was busy.
Lost in translation.
How dare he say that?
I don't know how you've still got a job here.
Honestly, some of the things I say.
Oh, hey. He doesn't announce a big deck party. Oh, I don't want to hear that from you. I used to get in trouble for that.
Deck.
And yes, but when I was in America, and I used to go, hey, we've got a big Mexican deck party going on tonight. Oh my goodness, I used to get in trouble. It's my accent. Big deck party, it's going to be amazing. Hey, can I just quickly mention this thing tomorrow they're doing for Vanuatu? So I know a lot of you who have cruised to like Vanuatu and the New Caledonian Islands before, and I've spoken to a couple of you already. So the guy called Gary Porter, I don't know if you're aware in the last 2 years, 18 months, 2 years, they've had 200 earthquakes in Vanuatu. Yeah, and some big ones. And they've just been getting over some floods which destroyed a lot of their crops and things. And that the question about resupplying just reminded me, because I know we've pulled into Fiji before to get fruit and vegetables, and they'd had a big hurricane and it had damaged a lot of the crops. And the people are so lovely. They brought up like big boxes with like tomatoes, but the tomatoes were all green. And you felt so bad. You're like, oh, thanks for that. Fried green tomatoes. But we'll just tell everyone they're tomatillos. That'll be fine. And so they've had big problems in Vanuatu. So this guy Gary, they've organised a big raffle in Australia to raise money for people in the villages. So if you've ever been to like Mystery Island, this is like Antium, the island next to it, and the main villages that are there. There's about 280 families in various villages, and they've pretty much been decimated, right? So he adopted a little boy, his family. He's got a few adopted children. There was a little baby who was very ill when we were there once, and him and his wife were over there talking to the villagers, and ended up cruising with us quite a few times. And they were taking baby formula over and medicine and that sort of thing, and I was helping them out with the paperwork and just getting them in there. And it was about 6 months, and they finally got permission to adopt this little boy. So they came on the ship with us. Some of you were probably there when this happened. And they went over to the main village, and they had the ceremony, and they adopted a little boy, and they called him Eli. How cool is that? So I'm kind of connected with this family, right? So they've been organising this charity raffle. So they've got just over $100,000 in prizes, and they're holding a raffle. I think they're going to have a table outside the ship, like in the terminal tomorrow morning. So if you see it, can you do me a favour and just go grab a raffle ticket? You might win some cool prizes, but they're trying to raise money because we're sending a ship over with bags of rice. We're trying to send about 50 tons of rice and food and baby formula and milk powder and all that sort of stuff over there. So if you see the table tomorrow, I said to him I'd mention it on board. So this is my chance. So if you see the table tomorrow, you make an announcement, because there's a lot of people on board with cruise there, and there are these little villages that kind of have been forgotten about. And they're lovely people. And if you ever cruise in New Caledonia or Vanuatu, you go to Mystery Island, you'll meet a lot of these villages because they come across to the island and have their stalls and arts and crafts and things. So we're trying to help them out since they've helped us out so much over the years. So if you see the table tomorrow, go up to them and grab yourself a ticket. You might win a prize, but that's circumstantial. You'll do some good, that's for sure. So thank you very much. Yeah, I'll keep talking about it. Yeah, I think that's great, right? In fact, I know we've got bingo coming up. Can I didn't bring my phone, did I? Yes, I did. Can I take a picture of you and I'll send it to Gary? Is that all right with you guys? If you don't want your picture taken and sent to this lovely family in Vanuatu, look away. So I'll be telling everyone can give them a wave. There you go. Everyone say hi. Oh, that's lovely. Look at that. And they're all waving. Thanks, guys. He'll love that. He'll love that. He'll think that's awesome. It is awesome. I know bingo's coming up next. Last chance to play bingo in the American format, because it's all changing tomorrow to the Australian format. It's different. It's 90 numbers instead of 75. I know. It's strange, isn't it? And there's no bingo. It's just numbers. There's numbers. Oh, that's pretty. Here's the video. I'm getting out of the way.